What's going on? Welcome to QVO Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This video is going to be about the games coming to retail the week of July 16th. We have a great lineup of games. One of these games are actually, well, two of these games I saw at Gamma, and they look like fun. They look like great games. Really fun, simple, straightforward games, which is always good. Always good to have a variety of games in the hobby, but specifically one of these publishers that publish one of these games, I have been waiting for them to release a couple more games. They haven't really been releasing a lot lately, and I haven't really, even the ones that have come out, I'm like, really not just my style of game. I understand that they could be someone else's, but not my type of game. However, the lineup they have coming out in the fall, man, I am excited and want to try those games out so bad. So actually, a couple of them might be releasing at Gen Con, I believe. I have to look into it, but I'm pumped and I cannot wait. And this is going to be one of them that I'm kind of curious to try out and see how it goes, only because there's been a lot of hype with small box games. Let's get to this video going. I'm going to start talking about the game. We haven't gotten there. Keep in mind, I am covering the games coming to retail in the US. These games may have already been released in other regions of the world. You may have already seen some coverage from content creators, received a copy at a convention. I'm covering the games coming to retail in the US. Keep that in mind. If one of these games gets a delayed shipping date or gets released a little bit later than what the date we mentioned or the time we mentioned, I will make sure to update you of its new release week in its respective video. Let's get these videos going. Let's get these games going. The video's already been going. Let's get these games going. All right, first game coming up is going to be on July 19th is going to be Blob Party by WizKids. Interesting little game here. Blob Party. Cute little blobs, of course. Cute little theme as well. Interesting stuff. This game is going to be a game where you're going to try to blob up with everybody. It's a cooperative game, and your goal is to have everybody be one big, gigantic blob, right? And the gigantic blob kind of comes in. Oh, you even get the clay thing is kind of cool too. You get little clays. Your whole goal is to be one big blob. And the way that kind of works is that you're going to be thinking of words. For example, if the theme is music, and someone puts Bon Jovi, and someone puts a score, someone puts hip hop, a genre of music, you're kind of trying to match up everyone's words. So if you have the same word with somebody, you are now a blob, right? You're all put together, and you're trying to be one massive blob, cooperatively be all together. That is kind of like almost like, reminds me of Just One almost. And Just One is like one of the best, I think, if not the best, one of the best party games out there. I don't think it's going to be just as good comparatively, but in this game, in Just One, you're trying to give someone a hint of a specific word, and you can't use the word you're hinting at when you're writing it on your little board to show off. And when you're comparing your words, you can't have the same word as someone else, because if you do, you have to hide your clue to kind of give them and your clue is no longer valid to help the guesser guess whatever word it is. However, in Blob Party, your goal is to guess the correct word and put it together. I think it would be really cool to have those two games played back to back and just seeing potential, the flow and see how it affects kind of the day or the game you play. I don't know. It'd be really interesting to see that. I would love to see that. But Blob Party, really straightforward party game. Your goal, match up the words the best way you can and be one giant blob. Get the exact word of someone else and do that all cooperatively. Have everyone be one big blob at the end of the game. Pretty cool party game. Check it out by WizKids. Blob Party coming out July 19th. Coming up next by Pandasaurus Games is going to be District Noir coming out July 19th. Pandasaurus Games releasing a lot of interesting games this upcoming fall, and I am up for it. This is one that I'm going to try to explain to you, but I feel like this is one you have to play to really get the full gist of it. It just seemed that way at Gamma, and even reading the rulebook, I'm like, I gotta try this game to really understand the flow of what's going on. And I'm excited. I'm pumped. These small box games are sweeping the industry right now with the way they're so portable, and there's only cards you use to play. And the cool part is about this game, it's also on Board Game Arena. So if you want to try it on Board Game Arena, you can. But the interesting part is let's say you are at a theme park or at a restaurant, you're let's just play a quick game. This is going to be a game. You have just cards you can literally put in your bag or put in a little plastic baggie or something and carry with you to those places, just kind of play at camp or something, right? So District Noir is going to be a game. There's two paths to victory. You're either going to king control all three city cards, or you're going to have the most points depending on the set collection you do by the end of the game. In the game itself, you have two actions. You can either draft the last 5 cards played, or you can play cards to the middle. When you play cards to the middle, it kind of looks like so, right? And when you draw the 5, it's going to be usually the farthest from the deck. I imagine that's what the setup looks like. And you get to pull in these 5 cards, add it into your set. In the process, there are also 3 city cards. And the 3 city cards, if you manage to get all 3 city cards, which I think is supposed to be extremely difficult to do, and you do that, then you also get to, when you collect all 3, you win the game. You gain control of the 3 city locations, right? They believe are the harbor, something else, and something else. 3 parts of the city. The game is pretty straightforward and simple. Like I said, these type of games that play quick and are easy to play, it seems like there's a lot of these coming out. I mean, a lot. There's different ones I've talked about. I've talked about a couple before, actually, in my last Games Coming to Retail video. I'm not going to go over those just because I want to give District Noir its time to shine. And these games are like I said, they're becoming a big popularity recently. They're just easy to bring out, portable, easy to play, and usually are more affordable. Like it's a bunch of cards. So, I mean, ranging from like maybe, I don't know, I want to say like 15 to maybe $30, 35 at the highest. Pushing 35 is a little like for a card game. I would question at that point. But District Noir, simple game, straightforward. Check it out by Panasaurus Games. They're going to have it at Gen Con if you're going to Gen Con. And if you're not, you can buy it online from their web store. Coming up next, coming out on July 19th as well, is going to be Dungeons & Dragons Trials of Tempus board game by WizKids. So, this game's an interesting one. This is going to be a standard edition. There's a premium edition, standard edition, differences like components and such. This is going to be a standard edition I'm going to talk about with all the cool miniatures. They both have miniatures, but hey, they all look really sick. Hopefully they're as detailed as they are rendered here. In this game, it says it's a cooperative game. I guess it really is if you separate 2 teams and stuff. You have 2 different teams, and you're up against, you're in an arena. You're in like a Trials of Tempus, basically. And you're doing that. As you're doing that, there's going to be missions you can achieve. There's going to be ways you can attack and defend and gain points and such that way as well. And there's going to be like some champion or thing that comes out after something triggers it. And it's going to be a level of points that you have to achieve for it to trigger something to come out in the middle, and it can be a different monster of some sort who's going to wreak havoc, and you gain points by defeating them as well. Your whole goal is to be the better team and have the most points, and you have 2 separate teams. Interesting stuff. The game actually looks pretty cool. It's hard to say, like, it's just the rule book even just seemed a little more like, this is another type of game you have to like bring out. This is actually one of the monsters like you get to fight and such. It's all these cool little miniatures are like the monsters, and I think they are cool. This game's going to be specifically not an arena battler, but a head-to-head style game where you're going to have to enjoy the team aspect versus the enemy team, as well as managing external factors kind of affecting you. It sounds really cool and interesting in practice. I want to try it out at least one time. I hope I do. With so many games coming out, who knows if I'll even try it out at this point. But it's a really high price point, lots of great miniatures. If you have those types of big people at your game night, or big people, large amount of people at your game night, this is going to be a game you can probably bring out to play with like 8 players and such. Interesting stuff. I want to check it out and try it at least one time. We'll see if I do or if I don't, but I would love to. And at $100, I hope a friend has it, because that is definitely a hefty price. This is Trials of Tempus, the board game. It's coming out July 19th by WizKids. Coming up next by QVO Games, coming out July 21st, Sea of Thieves, Voyage of Legends. Voyage of Legends, the board game. So, Sea of Thieves. Big like video game IP. I played the video game. It's cool. It's really cool. This game was at Gamma, and now it's coming out to retail. So you guys on July 24th, everyone, and not even just you guys. This is like a 4X light style game, right? So you're playing as pirates, going through a 4X game, and in the game, you are playing as a pirate, and you're going around completing different missions, similar to the video game, where you're going to go to a specific place, grab a mission, go out and do it, as well as fighting like the Megalodon or the Kraken. The Kraken's right there. Look, it's a little standee. This game would be really cool with miniatures, but I understand. Like when you start adding miniatures to a game, you start getting a game that's probably a little bit pricey for people to consider buying. I think $60 for a board game, that's not too bad. So keeping the standees isn't a bad idea. Steamforge, I think, did a really good job with doing that specifically. So in the game, you're going to have different game modes, of course. You're going to have your attacks and defense. You can attack your enemies or your friends, I guess. You're going to attack your friends, defend against them, and you're trying to be the best Sea of Thieves. You're trying to be the best thief in the seas, essentially. And you're doing that by doing all these missions and such and trying to gain the points up to just win the game. 4X light game. It's a game you can probably learn in 5 and 10 minutes and teach someone in 5 and 10 minutes. That's actually pretty cool and interesting. There's a lot of 4X games, and some of them are like, 8 hours long, 4 hours long, 6 hours long. Having a 4X light game is pretty cool, but there's a lot of these around as well. However, at that price point, $60, not too bad. Because, like I said, it's games like these can be really iffy sometimes with like they get so high, and it'd be awesome to see like a Kraken miniature. It'd be so cool to see a Megalodon miniature and have your boat and such. But now the price is no longer $60. Now it's like 100 plus. It definitely, I could see that definitely 100 plus at that point. So Sea of Thieves, the board game, 4X light game to learn and teach, 5 to 10 minute teach. Pretty cool one, coming out July 21st. And we are at the end of the video. Thank you for making it this far. That is awesome. I appreciate the fact that you are watching this video, and that's awesome. I love it. And the fact that these videos are reaching 100 views plus now, even 200, 300 views at times, that's awesome. And I thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot be any more grateful, and I appreciate you guys for even subscribing to the channel and being here to watch the video. If you are buying a game or purchasing these games, let me know in the comments. I actually want to know and want to talk games with you. If any of these interest you, maybe one you're saving up for. It doesn't have to be one we talk about. It doesn't have to be one in the video that we talk about. It can be a different game as well that you have been saving up for. Maybe when you're considering you're finally buying this week after waiting so long. You're like putting yourself in a band. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it. Have a good one.